Welcome, Nick.
We're over here.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome back. Our next guest started a blog that highlighted many funny and sometimes taboo topics involving women.
Yes, but when pregnant with her second child, she wanted to engage a deeper meaning. So it took Krishandra Lee Perez 7 years to write this novel called We Come as Girls, We Leave as Women. It's a coming-of-age book about high school senior girls overcoming personal challenges. And we are thrilled to welcome Krishandra to the yellow couch. Thank you for being here.
Nice to have you.
I'm on the golden mustard couch.
Does it feel good?
Golden mustard
You
couch.
like
I feel
it?
like I'm in Arizona.
Yeah.
In this cold weather, we need a
But
Trust
you're
me,
not.
I wish we were in a, well, I don't wish we were in
But you're not.
Thank
This
you
is
for
great.
having me.
So you've done this whole variety of different things in your life. You've been on television.
Yep.
You've been on Entertainment Tonight. You've been on the Oprah Show. You've done movies. This book. This took you 7 years to write?
Yes, it did. And I actually was writing this book while I was doing all of those things you're talking, many of the things you were talking about, not E.T., that was way long ago. But I really have a special vested interest, obviously you get, just talking about topics that deal with girls transitioning into womanhood that we don't really get an opportunity to read about in the mainstream media often. So that's what I think is resonating with this book with people, is that we're dealing with a lot of characteristic issues, a lot of issues that talk about sexuality and how do I feel about myself. And it's being used as a tool, interestingly enough, in various places all over for parents to talk to their teenage daughters, for friends to reminisce about their experiences, and reinforcing that womanhood isn't as difficult as it seems, and that everybody gets to join. So for girls who are so anxious about trying to make a sorority, no, here's the club that will include everybody, and actually it has nothing to do with how you look.
So you've traveled all over talking about this, and you've been to Senegal.
I have. I was very lucky.
And you were talking to you were the keynote speaker talking about your book.
I was one of many, but 29 different countries were represented, and I was flown in by and brought in by, interestingly enough, L'Oréal, which is a beauty company, and I think that they're also
Known here as L'Oreal.
Yeah.
That was fancy, right?
It's always going to be L'Oréal
Because
from
you
now
know
on.
someone's going to say, I don't know what that is.
I was out there, and one of the sponsors was Dannon yogurt, which is what, but everyone
Danone.
says it's Danone. So I kept going. We know it's Dannon. I'm from Wisconsin
or something.
But okay, so L'Oreal. But yeah, you know, I think that they, you know, I know someone who read the book. She's an executive there. She passed it along to the team in Paris, and you know, those executives resonated with the book there, and I think that it sort of reinforces their image, which is it's no longer the 50s where you're focusing on put on the right shade of lipstick and that's going to make you pop. Whereas now the message is be yourself, you know, stand in your own truth. Then as you're walking out the door, put on the lipstick and watch you really become magic.
Yeah,
so it's a more substantial message.
What I think is interesting, you said this is Resonate. We teased before, you're getting selfies from all over the world of people who have read your book and they're doing this. But what I think is so fascinating is you said, you know, this is opening conversation for women and for mothers and their daughters. But this is not only for mothers and daughters. You're finding that it's fathers and sons and it's boys. And you actually went to a boys group for school.
I did. I sat with a group of young boys that actually read the book first. And I didn't think that they would actually read it. I was told that they were given sort of like a dangling carrot to make them read
Cliff Notes.
Yeah, and when I got to the location, the school, they had all read it. After having conversations, I realized that they did. And these two coaches in this organization, Boys Rising, incredible. And you know, they were very much about, you know, Back to Basics Academy, very much about trying to prevent the possible Me Too's that are coming up. And so now this book is being used as a tool to help boys better understand girls. Because
what did they say though? What did the boys say? Because I want to, you know, I think about a boy reading a young boy and I want to know, like, what does it mean to them? Because this is something that I think is an important part of your conversation. It's not even just this overview, but it's that individual boy who read this and said, I get this now.
Well, I really just winged it, a lot of it, because I didn't know exactly what to say to teenage boys. Typically, they don't want to talk.
Right.
So I was just shocked that they were actually engaging with me. But the nutshell was I helped them to sort of understand how the messages that they're receiving from mainstream, whether it's the music or the video games or the social media and the like, and these are their words, the things that they've been taught to think about women. Ultimately, it's people for pleasure. And then you can wrap any little slang term around it depending on where you live. But then when they read this book, and I asked them to quote some of the names of the characters, and they're talking about Sagrario and Elaine, and characters that aren't even pivotal, but they resonated with them and they got their stories. Then I said, give me some characteristics characteristics about these girls, and they were so affirming. You know, they're self-assured. And I go, well, how can you say those things about these fictional characters, yet you're taking this information from the media about real life people that you know? So they realize just how much their minds are being shaped. But if they actually took the time to learn about the girl, it changes their relationship, which is
the
really
respect
great.
level.
Absolutely.
You've gotten a lot of support on social media. You've gotten a lot of really strong support from some pretty high power people out here. Would you care to talk to us about that?
Well, it's ranged. A friend of mine was just in Paris, and I'm a big fan of Jean-Paul Gaultier, and he selfied the book, which was really a surprise to me because he's one of the designers that I've followed for very long. Oprah Winfrey has given me a lot of support. We just saw you with her. Yes, right. So she's given me a lot of support, and I think that this book resonated with her because she has a school in South Africa, where she's trying to encourage young girls to talk about, you know, themselves in various ways that aren't just about how they look. Finally, there's a book that's out. Well, not finally. I'm sure there's more, but I say in my book, I don't focus on the physicality. I talk about who are they. Right. And these are taboo topics that, you know, a lot of mothers are having difficulty or challenges to talk to their teenage girls about. The transitioning. 17 is tough. How do you engage with your daughter about
13
sex?
is tough.
17
is tough.
All of it's impossible.
Being
37
a kid
is
now
tough.
is impossible. I feel like I just look at the things that they have to go through
It's
that are
true.
hard for us at our age,
True.
and they're doing it earlier and earlier. So this is a really important story that you're telling.
And I love what you said about not focusing on the outside, because you think about, you know, the movement and the conversation towards young girls when you meet them, not saying, wow, you're so pretty, wow, I love your outfit, but saying, I bet you're a smart girl. I bet
I bet you
what
could
do you
be a
care
sheriff.
about? Yes, I bet you could be a
I
sheriff.
bet you could be a sheriff. But you know, womanhood, it really isn't about how you look. I can have a pimple on my forehead and I can have too much weight on me or anything that the world will say doesn't resonate with being a glamorous woman or a virtuous woman. But I think that being a woman just means to stand in your truth and to get up every day. And I tell these young girls that I'm speaking with across the country or whoever I'm speaking with, if you got up today and you put on your sweater or you know, studied for that test or just the little things, because I'm all about micro leading to macro. So those little things, you ate the vegetables and you know you don't like them, but you ate them, you are on your way. And you would say as a woman, as I believe as a woman, that you got to where you are, not really because of all the beautiful outside things that are going on with you. You got here because of all the things that you stood up to despite being nervous, that you went through despite being anxious. And the work. And now you're where you are. And then you put on that lipstick.
And you're like, and we're ready to go. It's time to go, girl.
So I'm excited to continue to talk and have the conversation, and I look forward to coming back to Milwaukee at some point and talking to.
Well, we look forward to having you here on the Yellow Couch again.
I'm excited.
People can follow you online. Your Instagram, your Twitter is at Chrisandra Lee. You can find the book as well. It's We Come as Girls, We Leave as Women, an important conversation topic for everyone. Thanks so much for being here and joining us.
Guys.
Come back
on
again
the Mustard
soon,
Couch.
right?
Absolutely.
Yellow Couch likes you.
I know.
All right.